Hi, everybody. Bill Spalding here. It's another episode of Rooted in Ivy here on the Ivy League Instagram channel. We're about to be joined by Reid Cashman, who's the incoming new head coach of Dartmouth men's hockey, currently still in the bubble in Toronto with the Washington Capitals, where he's an assistant coach as well. So Reid Cashman will be with us here shortly. To him about bubble life, about what he's expecting in his role at Dartmouth as well, and what it's like to follow someone who's been there for 23 years before him as well. Going to be exciting to talk about Dartmouth hockey, Ivy League hockey as a whole as we look ahead toward 2021, and also to hear a bit about what the bubble is like right now for Reid Cashman and for all the players and coaches working in the NHL. And so far, so good up there in Toronto and in Edmonton. The atmosphere has been really a lot of fun to watch. I think the NHL's done a great job with it, and we look forward to hearing from Reid about this experience and what it's been like. We'll also remind you that this Rooted in Ivy series has 4 previous archived episodes where we've talked with both NFL and WSL and PGA golfers that have started their careers in the Ivy League. You can go back and find those episodes here on the Ivy League Instagram as well. And again, we're just waiting for Reid Cashman, future coach of Dartmouth men's hockey, to join us here, Rooted in Ivy. Again, I'm trying to get Reid in here. Having a couple of technical glitches as we get the international connection going from Toronto to here in the U.S. And there is Reid Cashman, the new head coach of Dartmouth men's hockey. You have the big green hat on, and you're currently wearing 2 hats right now as you wrap up your time coaching with Washington, coming to us from your hotel room in the bubble. So before we get to Dartmouth, let's start there. What's the experience been like so far for you in Toronto?
It's been good. It's exciting to be playing hockey or coaching hockey again. The NHL has done an unbelievable job to get this tournament going. I mean, the amount of work to secure bubbles, to get everybody here healthy and tested. It's been a long process, but certainly once we're in here, we feel about as safe as you could possibly be. And again, the playoff hockey is exciting to be a part of. These guys are extremely invested now that we're here.
Yeah, I got to say, from a TV viewer perspective, it really does seem like the NHL's done a great job. They've set the atmosphere up in about as engaging a way as you could without having fans there with the big jumbo boards and things like that. The hockey's been great and high intensity right off the start. So that's what we see. What don't we see? What's the behind the scenes life like for you, the other coaches, and the players as well?
Yeah, I mean, at the rink, it's pretty normal. You know, whether it's practice or the games, that's pretty normal. Obviously, the rink is extremely empty, which is different. You can hear everything, but obviously on TV, it looks pretty good. They did a great job with that. And then just outside the rink, that's where it gets a little bit abnormal, just from a standpoint of, obviously we're in a great hotel and there's space, but there's a 10-foot high fence around the perimeter of our hotel that we can't leave. I think if we leave, I think it's draft picks and a fine, and you're for sure out of the playoffs. And so we're definitely enclosed. They're making sure we're not going out. We get tested. We get nose swabbed every day. You know, mandatory mask everywhere you leave outside your hotel room. Temperature checks every day. So they got us locked down pretty good to make sure we get through this playoffs, everybody healthy.
As a coach, you must love the one positive about there being no fans in the crowd is players can't have an excuse that they didn't hear you. If you yell something to them while they're on the ice, right?
Yeah, for sure. I don't. I stay away from yelling too much, but you're hearing everything, man. You're hearing everything that our players are saying to each other. You're hearing everything that the players are saying to the other team. If the other coach is yelling at the ref, you're hearing exactly what they're saying. So that communication becomes a huge factor because it's so loud and it's so clear that I think the teams that communicate well are going to have success here.
This is your second full season with the Caps. Before that, spent a couple of years with their AHL affiliate in Hershey, and before that, as an assistant at your alma mater at Quinnipiac. This experience with the Caps, with the team that was coming off a Stanley Cup when you joined them and has so many Stanley Cup winning coaches and players on the staff. What's been the biggest learning experience for you?
I mean, it's challenged me to be my best on a daily basis. You know, my first year coaching with Washington, so 2 years ago on opening night, they raised the banner. So I'm on the bench. They're raising the banner. The 70 we had on our roster had were the 70 that won the Stanley Cup the year before, or 3 months before. And then obviously Ovechkin and Backstrom and Kuznetsov, and we are one of the more talented teams in the league. And what comes with that is we have great professionals, and they have a great amount of respect for me. They don't care if I didn't play in the NHL. They don't care if I have a college background. But what they care about is that I'm prepared every day to make them better, to help our team win. And that's really, it's forced me to do more video. It's forced me to be more prepared on a daily basis so I can challenge them in the right ways. And ultimately has prepared me for my next venture here with Dartmouth.
Yeah, let's talk about that next venture. When the job became available, what was it immediately about this job that attracted you?
Yeah, a couple of things. I mean, I saw it on Twitter. I think it was a Thursday night. I saw it on Twitter that Coach Gaudette retired, and I've wanted the challenge of being a head coach for a while. My bosses in Washington know that and knew that, but it had to be the right opportunity, and I wanted to go to a place where I felt we could compete for championships. I've been very fortunate to have been a part of some really good teams the last 9 years as a coach, and so I want to go to a place where that foundation was already there. And after going through the interview process and knowing Dartmouth a bit, we can win there. I feel very strongly we can win there. I feel like our administration is going to support a championship team. So that, professionally speaking, both the challenge of being a head coach, a place where we can compete for championships, and then personally speaking, my wife's from New Hampshire. We make our home in the off season in Windham, New Hampshire.
Okay, yeah.
So I have 2 young daughters, and so we didn't have a timetable, but certainly we always looked for an opportunity to raise our kids in New Hampshire in a college environment. That's something that means a lot to us as a family.
I gotta say, it feels appropriate that you learned about this job from Twitter, because anyone who follows college hockey knows that Dartmouth hockey has the best Twitter in college hockey. So it seems like an appropriate way to have first heard about this job. You played at Quinnipiac, so obviously in the ECAC with Dartmouth, with the other Ivy League schools. Do you have any specific memories as a player or as a coach from your trips to Hanover, from playing up there and playing against Dartmouth?
Well, my sophomore year was 2005, and we were not in the ECAC that year. My junior year, we moved into the ECAC, so we got those. I had 2 years of playing in it. But that '05 team was loaded, right? Like Jessman and Jones and Stepniak, and I mean, they were Lovejoy and Grant Lewis. It was just, I remember going up to Hanover, and the place was raw. Like Thompson Arena was rocking. Tanner Glass was hammering guys through the boards. It was an intimidating environment and an intimidating group, but also an unbelievable place to play in a college atmosphere that was incredible. And so that was my first memory of Dartmouth hockey, and something I envision us getting back to really soon.
You're the 22nd coach in Dartmouth hockey history, but the first new head coach in now 24 years, because Bob Gaudette had been there for 23 years before retiring. First off, what you knew of Coach Gaudette when you were a coach, but secondly, what it's like to follow someone who has been there for so long, for more than a couple of decades.
Well, I would say the first thing is Coach Gaudette is maybe the most respected coach we had in the ECAC for my time at Quinnipiac, both as a player and a coach. And there's some great coaches. There have been guys that have been in this league for quite a while, but Coach Gaudette is known for how he treats people, the character within his program, and he really leads by example when it comes to that. So I feel very fortunate to follow in his footsteps. He has set a really strong foundation at Dartmouth. He's recruited the right way. He's brought in the right kind of kids. He's graduated leaders both on the ice, but then also when hockey's done. That Dartmouth has leaders all across the world because of how he's done it. And then he's been great to me. His phone's always on for me if I need it. He wants Dartmouth to succeed. He's also an alum. He helped our team, our program win a lot of games as a player. So he's probably the most important one we got, both as a player and as a coach. And I feel very fortunate that I've been allowed to follow him, and will do my best to build on what he's already done up there in Hanover.
Generally when you get the job as a head coach somewhere, one of the first things you do is have an in-person team meeting with your group. Obviously, in the age of COVID, things are a whole lot different. So what's it been like getting to know some of these guys and doing it from afar?
Yeah, everything's Zoom, which can be frustrating at times, but also our reality that we're living in and what's going on here socially. The one nice thing about it, I don't know what nice thing is, but we're going through some adversity as we all are, whether you're in college or athletics or not. But there's adversity that's happening, and so that's challenged us to get to know each other in a hurry, challenged us to build some trust. I'll say Brendan Demler, who was our captain last year and will be our captain this year, has been incredible with keeping our team together and in contact and making sure whatever news we're getting is just our reality, and we're going to handle the best we can. And the other thing I would add on top of that is Brian Corcoran, director of hockey ops, has stayed on. He's been part of Dartmouth for 17 years, has been instrumental in helping. And then both Jason Tapp and Stavros Pascaris have come on board. And so we got a good group, and we're all working together and handling adversity and building trust because none of us have the answers we want, right? And so we're going through it together.
Stylistically, for folks who are going to see Dartmouth play a lot this year, what are some of the hallmarks of the type of hockey that you want to play?
I want us to compete at the highest level. It's the one thing that equalizes or neutralizes teams. If you're playing a team that's more talented than you, but you outcompete them, you have a chance. And then if you enter the ice and you have more talent and then you outcompete, you're going to win a ton of hockey games. So that compete part, the character part, and the hockey IQ part are the things that mean the most to our program. So big or small, skinny or fat, whatever that player looks like, those that compete, the character and the hockey IQ. If we can build a program around that, I feel pretty excited about what kind of success we can have.
You obviously played a lot of Ivy League teams during your time in college, and now in the NHL, 17 NHLers from the Ivy League, including one who you're currently coaching, Garnett Hathaway, who played at Brown. So what do you think the perception on the outside and at the next level is of Ivy hockey and of guys who come out of Ivy hockey to play at the next level?
Well, I think it is. You can make it. You can play in the NHL coming out of the Ivies. You can win a Stanley Cup coming out of the Ivy Leagues. I think the 6 programs we got and the 5 other coaches have done an unbelievable job of developing. And I think if the more I've learned about the Ivy League going through this process, one of the things that drew me to working at an Ivy League institution was that development, both on the ice and off the ice, is a key component to what we're preaching here. And so I think one of the things that happens when you go to pro hockey, and it happened to me as a player, is I wasn't ready for some of the challenges there. My development wasn't quite there yet. And I think what the Ivy League schools have done great in the past, and I've talked to Half a lot about this, is he was prepared for some of the adversity that happens in pro hockey, and some of the leadership. And so I think the development component of the Ivy League's institution is what's allowed guys to get to the NHL and stick.
Great. And just finally for you, I know we don't know exactly when that first game is going to be, but your first game as a head coach, what do you imagine you're going to be feeling? Put me in your shoes, like those hours and minutes leading off to puck drop.
I just think excitement. I mean, I really love my job. I love this game. I have 2 older brothers and a mom that actually taught me how to skate when I was 2 years old. And it's all I've ever really known. And so I get excited on the bench. I get excited when our players have success, when our players grow. And you're not going to hear me yell or scream all that much, but I'll just be awfully excited. And Dartmouth's been around for 114 years. And for me to be a part of that, Dartmouth hockey's been around for 114 years. And for me to be a part of that, I feel awfully fortunate.
Reid Cashman, the new head coach at Dartmouth, also still wrap it up with the Washington Capitals. I know big Green fans, Ivy fans will be rooting for you and your squad in Toronto, and look forward to having you in the league, Coach. Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Reid Cashman here with us on Rooted in Ivy.